Jaime Munguia B sample came back positive. Now, am I surprised? Actually, no. I'm not surprised at all. I kind of knew this was going to come back. Not that I knew anything, but I just kind of figured this was going to come back as a positive test. Very rare that they come back not positive, right? So I kind of knew this was going to happen. And, well, where do we go from here? Well, we're going to take a look at a couple of statements, a couple of things here, and see what does he go from here? What should be the punishment, right? But first, if you're new here, thank you for stopping in and choosing this video. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you for the continued support. I really appreciate it. Now, let's go ahead and jump into it. Jaime Munguia, first of all, that whole speech he gave, that he was adamant that this, that, and the other, man, listen, that's all out the window. He knew. So, here we go. According to Mike Coppinger, Jaime Munguia's B sample returned an adverse finding for exogenous origin of testosterone. And I broke all this down in a video that hardly anybody watched. I literally broke it down. Like what all this means. Scientifically, all that good stuff. But anyway, origin is on Friday. Sources to the ring. Yep. Munguia faces discipline from the BBBofC. BBBofC, that's a tongue twister, and could see his main victory over Bruno Surace overturned to a no contest. There's our smiling man, Jaime Munguia. Breaking news. This is kind of wild, right? I clicked the replies. No, I'm not logging in. Let's just close that out. All right, and the same thing, Boxing News 24. Now, I said, listen, I know people don't like Boxing News 24. There has a lot of, opinions about it, but yeah, this story for the most part is actually on point. So let's just go right here. Maybe to go into something different. All right, maybe Surace for the March 3rd in Riyadh. Munguia's victory over Surace could not be turned into a no contest. We know that already. Munguia has been undermined by B sample testing for exogenous. It puts the 28-year-old Mexican fighter's career in jeopardy going into his rematch with France. Surace Munguia's a 1-2 record, and his career was in bad shape. Now, here's the thing. So, if we're gonna keep it consistent, same thing with Ryan Garcia and even Puello. When people were arguing with me when I said Puello actually had an actual excuse, that made sense, right? But they're saying that you got to be responsible. So he got suspension, he got stripped, all that good stuff. So we got to keep it consistent. So what does that mean? What is all this here? I don't want this. Okay, right there. Boom. And even on a 6-month suspension, it will be difficult for Munguia to recover from this. He looked average in his losses to Surace and defeated against Canelo Alvarez last year. If Munguia returns to being a mediocre contender that he'd been before, his career will be over. His ability was nowhere near the top level. I don't know if it was nowhere near the top level. I thought that before this stuff kind of happened, he had like an interesting style. I thought, he's busy. I think he could get a fight. I think he still would be interesting for people to watch. But again, now we have to look into what's going on, right? Like, why are these fighters popping? This has been a rash of poppers everywhere, from the UK to the US, down into Mexico and out of Mexico. The funny thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, aside from the UK, no boxers of actual color, like black boxers, haven't gotten caught with anything. That doesn't mean to say that they don't have anything. Like, listen, we can all talk about why does Clarissa Shields have a renowned belief in her power where she had none, she still has none. And why do we think, and why does Crawford think he had a chance against Canelo, and other people thinking he could stop him? Well, there's one thing that binds them all in that sense, right? So you can do the math. But here, we just have to look and see what's the common thread. Why is this happening? And Munguia, he had to have known, right? But that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about what is his career looking like going forward. I think he's young. So the fact that this article says that his career will be in trouble, and he may never recover from it. He may never recover from it. Will not immediately recover from it right now for being an elite contender. I don't think he was elite. I think he was on the verge of being world class. He hasn't yet proven that. I thought that the Surace fight rematch at the time, before we knew this, was a step in the right direction to prove that he was a world class athlete and boxer. And I thought he kind of did that by correcting the wrong, meaning he beat the guy who beat him, right? That's always something you look to see what happens. And he kind of did it without not too much problems and didn't knock the guy out, but you didn't expect him to. And there was going to be other fights along the way. A Berlanga fight was looming, was being talked about. Berlanga was out there talking his stuff. So there was a lot, Caleb Plant, things like that. It was fights for him to do. Then this comes out. Like I said, he's a young guy. 6 months, as long as he stays in the gym, stays clean, comes back out, fights a top 15 guy at the lower end, right? And then comes back, gets a couple of string of fights together, get on TV at the last few strings, and then I think he'll get another world title shot. I don't think it'll be over. Now, can he then break over to the other side and become a world class to elite? Elite, I think, is not where Munguia is ever going to be. I think he can be world class. I think he can be a world champion. I think he can go ahead and make a title defense or two, because I think that the avenues are there for him. But now, I don't know if this was something that was being used before and now it just come to light now, right? Because of whatever new testings they're doing. I don't know. I'm not in that world. I don't know what happened. I don't know if he thought he needed this sort of edge to go into, the Surace fight. I don't know. Maybe he thought he needed something extra. Maybe he didn't even think he needed something extra. Maybe his corner did. Somebody in his corner. I'm a legend. I don't know anything about this, so don't come sue me. What I'm saying is, this is what I'm thinking, right? Maybe his camp thought he did and didn't tell him and gave him that, laced his supplements with it, trying to give him a boost. You don't know. But I don't think his career is over. I don't think it would be over. No more or less than Ryan Garcia's career was over, right? No more or less than Devin Haney's career was over, although he kind of killed that himself, and so did Ryan by losing. And Devin Haney might as well have lost that same night. But neither here nor there. Jaime Munguia tested positive again. Well, not again. It's the same night, same sample, same samples grabbed, same night. Except one got put away just in case that one got positive results, and it did. Now they tested this one to make sure that wasn't contaminated, and that one did. Can both get contaminated during handling? Sure. The likelihood? Not likely, right? But also, guys, remember real quick before we go any further. Again, my store, it'll be linked in the description box below, and also you might have seen like a advertisement floating in around here somewhere for something. I will be adding more stuff to it. That's a way you can support the channel. If you don't want to leave super chats and donations, that is fine. If you want to buy something from me, I will be putting more things here pretty soon. I'm working on them behind the scenes. I draw everything myself and I do all the art myself. So that's enough for the shameless plug. Just go ahead and check that out. The stuff there, that you can put on t-shirts, mugs, everything. So yeah, I mean, listen. What happened here? Oh Lord. All right, let me get rid of this. Jaime Munguia. Why do you think he popped? What do you think happened during camp? What do you think was the catalyst, if any? Who did him wrong, right? Let me know in the comments down below, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. And I'm out. Peace.